There's a 700-meter strike length there on that known vein occurrence that remains wide open. And perhaps most notably is there was no drilling done to depth. And so these types of systems, they can have these ore chutes that occur at very discrete locations. So this open section here could potentially host, multiple ore chutes, but certainly down to depth, there's that opportunity.
Hello, welcome to Assay TV. Today I'm joined by Brian Miller, who is the CEO and Director of newly listed Astra Exploration. The company listed their stocks on the TSXV Venture Exchange in January of this year. And Brian, great to see you here today. If you can start us off, as I mentioned, brand new company there. Could you tell us a little bit about the history of how Astra Exploration came together and the expertise on the management team?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me here, Leo. Appreciate the opportunity. Just a brief history on Astra. It was a company that was founded in 2020. Some of its founding principals previously worked in Chile. They saw an opportunity for precious metals in the northern Paleocene region that's largely unconsidered. So the region itself has great endowment for precious metals, but historically has been focused on copper. And it's not that these precious metals opportunities don't exist. They're there, they're just not obvious. The region is covered by relatively shallow but broad sediment cover, which keeps these things from expressing obviously at surface. And so that was largely the idea behind it. And then we built a pretty remarkable team around that concept that has both a great deal of technical expertise with this type of deposit in this area that we're looking, but also has a very strong business element to the company as well. We have local presence on the ground locally in Santiago, great business networks. That helps us a lot on the execution front, but as well as a great business network that connects us to other business opportunities and potential projects.
So your flagship project there, Pampa Paciencia, tell us a little bit about how that came into your hands and what you think you've got there.
Oh, absolutely. Pampa Paciencia is a low sulfidation epithermal gold silver target, and it's located within 15 kilometers of two major operating copper mines, Spence and Sierra Gorda. And it was explored previously by a bit of a complex transaction, but another junior company had it and sub-optioned it out. But the land had been held for, I think, decades by a major mining company. And so it largely remained unavailable. And hence why this wasn't even discovered until 2015, which is a fairly recent discovery. And so this is the opportunity we see in northern Chile with land that's historically held by major copper mining companies, but just hasn't been addressed for the precious metals potential. And so this precious metal discovery was made and just hasn't been followed up.
Excellent. And so what exploration has been done on the project to date?
There had been some previous work done, like I said, by the previous owners. And that is what returned some of the initial results that attracted our attention. There was some drill intercepts of high-grade gold near surface, like almost 4 meters of 7.7 gram gold and 49 gram silver. But there was a couple of these notable intercepts that had been discovered, and they weren't followed up. There's a 700-meter strike length there on that known vein occurrence that remains wide open. And perhaps most notably is there was no drilling done to depth. And so these types of systems, they can have these ore chutes that occur in very discrete locations. So this open section here could potentially host, multiple ore chutes, but certainly down to depth, there's that opportunity. So this literally could have been the project that had the discovery hole punched and was just never followed up.
And tell us a little bit more about the size and the shape of the project and where on the project your drilling is going to be focused over the coming weeks and months.
Yeah. So to take a bit of a step back, our approach to this, there was the known mineral occurrence in the discovery and just a couple of localized zones, but we felt that there was opportunity for a larger system just undercover on this property. So we conducted a detailed phase 1 exploration program, which consisted of a magnetic survey, some float sampling, which are just basically boulders of decomposed vein at surface, float sampling and mapping. We did some trenching, and then we're going to follow that up with drilling that we're going to announce the beginning of here shortly. So what we've learned from the initial work has been highly encouraging. We've significantly expanded the prospectivity of the property well beyond what was previously known. So early results are quite encouraging. We're looking forward to the drill program.
Absolutely. You mentioned this float sampling. This is not a term that we hear that much. Can you explain a little bit more about sort of what you're looking for there? This is pieces of rock that have broken off from the vein, maybe, and have emerged at surface that you can use to trace where the vein might go. Is that?
No, that's exactly right. So as I mentioned, the property is covered by a thin cover of sediment. So you don't see these veins typically outcrop or exposed at surface. Instead, what you find are large fields of boulders that, to the untrained eye, they look very ordinary. It's Atacama Desert. There's not much to see. So you have the caliche and pampas, and you have big rocks laying around. But our focus was on larger float samples greater than 25 centimeters. And the significance of these size is they tend to stay closer to their source of, to their origin. So they can be very useful, especially in the flat areas, which a lot of the property is. It can be very useful for a vectoring tool to locate additional structures that are actually concealed below the cover.
So in terms of sort of timelines going forward in 2022, when do you hope to have some drill bits turning and testing some of these targets that you're identifying?
We will be announcing the starting of a drill program very soon this month. And right now we have planned to do about 3,000 meters of drilling, and that'll should give us about 30 drill holes, and should be some pretty good testing of the North Vein zone discovery that we were aware of to begin with, but also the float sample program that I mentioned, in conjunction with the magnetic survey, appears to be a very useful tool for identifying other structures. So we'll expand that known mineralization at the North Vein zone, but we'll also be looking to explore other structures to really demonstrate the size potential of this system.
I mean, do you see any similarities between other mines in Chile that may have some similar attributes?
Yeah. And so our head of exploration, Diego Guido, he's a globally renowned exploration consultant. He's 25 plus years in the business. He's been on epithermal deposits of all sizes, of all stages. So very trained eye as far as what these systems look like at an early stage. But in addition, one of our board members, Darcy Marood, was previously, he led the team at Meridian Gold that discovered El Peñon, and El Peñon was subsequently acquired by Yamana Gold. So Darcy, he saw El Peñon from discovery through development and into production. So well versed in what it takes to develop these systems, what it takes to explore for them. And that's significant because we see a lot of similarities with El Peñon, both hosted in the Paleocene, similar age dates, similar mineralization styles. And we have early indications at Pampa Paciencia that this could be a fairly powerful and robust system. And that's quite noteworthy because, as I mentioned, there is world-class potential for precious metals in this northern Paleocene. And El Peñon is a case in point of that. I think total known endowment is 8 million ounces of gold roughly and 216 million ounces of silver.
So very early stages for you, I guess, but you can sort of see the prize, the target is in your sights, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, anything that would even be a fraction of El Peñon would obviously be a huge success, but this is the opportunity that's out there, and so this is what we're looking for.
Absolutely. You have another project, Cerro Bayo. Tell us a little bit about what you've got there.
Yeah. Cerro Bayo is a high sulfidation epithermal porphyry gold target. It's located in the Maricunga, which is a pretty discrete corridor in northern Chile, and it's second to none for metal endowment. It hosts nearly 100 million ounces of gold known resources, as well as 15 plus billion pounds of copper. And Astra acquired, it's about 4,800 hectares in size. It's right within that corridor. And it's a very attractive target. So we own that 100%. And we are currently, looking at different opportunities for advancing that. Obviously, we're, pretty focused right now on Pampa Paciencia, but we do have some other potential opportunities for Cerro Bayo.
Absolutely. And has there been any work done on that project to sort of give some ideas of what sort of endowment there is there?
It did see some work. The last work that was done was in 1990. The data that we have is historical, so we can't put it on the website, but those results were quite encouraging. There were I think there was 8 holes that about 200 meters depth drilling, so it was relatively shallow, but they returned some very encouraging grades at and near surface, which by regional standards would be considered economic grade. So some good indications of grade. Our site visits have also supported the idea that it's a very prospective project. So yeah, it's something we're quite excited about.
Excellent. And as I mentioned at the beginning, you recently listed on the TSXV. How's the sort of cash position for the company to help sort of fund your projects going forward?
Yeah. Right now we have our drill program at Pampa Paciencia is fully funded. So right now I think we have just over about 1.3 million in the treasury, and that gets us through the drill program at Pampa Paciencia and gives us a bit of cushion on the back end of that. And so, that's one of the attractive features. It's something we've been complimented about several times is the capital structure of the company. We have, on a fully diluted basis, 27 million shares outstanding. We raised over $2 million at 30 cents without a warrant as a private company. And we have sufficient funds to get us through this initial exploration program. So, if good results stand to drastically impact our share price, which is, in the markets right now, that's a great opportunity if you want the exposure to discovery.
Absolutely. And in terms of sort of news flow, when should we be starting to sort of keep an eye out for some results to start coming out of the company?
Yeah, we'll be putting out some news, like I said, announcing the starting of the drill program. And it's, I mentioned one thing I do talk about is that we've really made an effort over the last several months to build a pipeline of catalyst events that could potentially add value and increase our stock price. And we've been building that, well beyond the drill program at Pampa Paciencia. So as to not put all your eggs in one basket, we'll hopefully have a few catalyst events there that we'll be talking about in the next several months. I would note that just in our short time of being a company, we have already managed to attract the attention of a major gold producer in the area that originally approached us about Pampa Paciencia. And we told them we were advancing that one on our own, but have a look at Cerro Bayo. So they did take a look at it and they liked it. And we're continuing discussions with that group as far as potential structure of a transaction going forward. So that's quite encouraging.
Would that be some sort of JV with them, yeah?
That could be one component. There's several things that have been discussed, a potential JV on Cerro Bayo, or some kind of a strategic partnership and or strategic shareholder. So a lot of different components on the table.
Absolutely. Watch this space. Well, thank you very much for joining us today, Brian, and good luck as the project evolves.
All right. Thank you, Leo. Privileged to be here. It's quite an exciting time at Astra.